You're listening to Have You Ever Wondered? It is Friday, June 24th, 2022. I'm Chloe, and the title of today's episode is Leopard and I both wanted a snake, but he's probably gonna end up with a cat, as did I. That's the real title. I'll explain what it means in a minute. Thanks for your patience with the sort of extra long prelude. Just to give you a little peek behind the curtain. Sometimes when you're doing things live, you have technical issues, and that's what's happening. Had a little internet issue that made it take me about 30 seconds longer to go live than normal. But that's the fun of doing something live. You just have to deal with stuff in the minute when it happens. Anyway, let's get started. I mentioned in an earlier show that my co-executive producer needed a new nickname. Mainly so it would be easier to refer to him on the air, and that I was going to be taking that need to him to find out what he wanted his pseudonym to be. So when we had the conversation, I let him know, a lot of times when people choose an alternate name for themselves, they maintain their initials and then choose a name that starts with the same letter as their real name. He liked that idea and then added to it that he also wanted it to be an animal. So after we went through lemur and lion and lemming, that's what I did. I mixed up lemur and lemming. Lemur, lion, lemming. I don't know what other animals we thought of. He settled on leopard. So until further notice, that is how he will be referred to, and I think it suits. Now, this past week, he and I have not been hanging out as much as we normally do. Because of that, I want to start today's show with the continuation of a conversation that we had a couple weeks ago, and then we'll jump in. Can I tell you how surreal it was for me to watch you playing soccer?
Did I win that one?
Did you win that one? That's a good question.
Was it against Pink?
Who, Sweden?
Just Pink?
Potentially.
If it was, we lost. Like 5-1.
I wasn't thinking about the score. I was watching you. I don't care about those other kids. But you were playing on like elementary school fields and middle. We had field day on that field when I was in 5th grade. It was pretty surreal for me, I will say. It was very cool. When's that league start again?
Starts in the fall.
I can't wait. I'm excited. Oh, come again. I still think you should go there for school.
Mm-mm.
You don't want to go there? It's not an all-girls school anymore. They have boys there now. It was only girls when I was there. And then the other one was all boys across the street. You just like being able to walk to school. Is that what it is?
Mm-mm.
What is it?
I like my friends, too.
Oh, yeah, they're all right. But you told me you were going to move to California and you didn't even care about those people. Oh, you're going to stick with them for now? I changed schools in 2nd grade and made new friends. It's not hard. So as you could hear in our conversation, 2nd grade was a big year for me. In addition to changing schools, which meant that I was going to a brand new neighborhood every day and interacting with all new people, that was also the year I started taking French, and the year I realized that I really like snakes. Snakes. Yes, snakes. I mean, I pretty much like all animals in general, especially when they're either happily domesticated and well cared for, like a lot of cats and dogs who live with humans, or when they are wild and free and living unendangered in their natural habitat or environment. There's something about those snakes. A lot of people are not fans. I know this. But I really always was. Like, from the first time I walked into that brand new science classroom and saw it sitting there on the counter in its terrarium, I could still see it. I was fascinated. I still kind of am. The smooth scales, the fact that they shed their skin, they can unhinge their jaws, and they're kind of misunderstood, like they're not all deadly. Some of them are quite docile even. Plus, they're quiet, they're individualistic, and when they do make friends, they can be kind of particular about it. All those things were attractive to me. So last year, one day, Leopard comes up to me and says, I want to get a snake. I was not at all surprised because he and I are very similar in many ways. And although I had never mentioned my appreciation of snakes to him, it turns out this was just another thing that you could add to that long list. He'd been thinking about it though, and reading about it and watching videos on YouTube, all the ways that we research things in modern times. And he was sold, right, on the idea. So I told him it wasn't up to me, but that he had my full support and that I would be glad to help him continue the research, to find out if it actually be feasible. So we redoubled his efforts and we learned a lot about the care of snakes in a very short amount of time. We also discovered that there's this couple out there, I think either like somewhere in the middle or maybe in Florida, that keeps double-digit reptiles in their house with them as pets, including an alligator that has its own room. Gotta love you too. Anyway, to make a long story shorter, Leopard did not end up getting a snake, and neither did I as a child. When I was a kid, my mother did not allow any animals into the house of any kind, not even a fish. So I never had a pet growing up. And the building that Leopard lives in only allows smaller, more, shall we say, conventional animals as pets. So both our snakes were dead in the water. But in another unsurprising move, Leopard also likes cats. Are you starting to see how the name suits? One holiday, I got Leopard and his sister these stuffed animals. It was probably Easter because I love to go all out on the baskets. And I chose specifically ones that echoed their personality because I was trying to make the gifts, more personal. She got a dog and he got a cat. Some of those attributes that can be attributed to that science classroom snake, to the Leopard boy, to his stuffed cat, to other real cats, could also be attributed to me, some say. And so when I finally got the chance, 6 months after I moved out on my own as an adult, I got my first pet. It wasn't a snake. It was a cat. My beautiful and kind and passionate and funny and always there for me, Juliet. If you had the chance to ever meet her or know her, you are among the privileged. Sadly, she was one of the many casualties of 2020 because that year came for all of us, and I don't think anyone got out unscathed. But she's still with me in my heart. And on a tattoo that I recently got on my right arm. But in happier news, earlier this year, Leopard came back with a new idea and said to me, I think I'd like to get a cat. I like cats. I'm kind of like a cat. And I think it would be a good idea. And you know what? This time I think it might actually work out for him. At least I hope it does. As for me, when will my next pet be? I don't know. Maybe a cat if I ever feel ready again. Although it would be very difficult to surpass the bar that Juliet set. Maybe a turtle. Or maybe one day I'll finally get that snake. We'll see. Remember when I had the old trash stylus and all of those fades were terrible? This poem that I'm going to read today is by Robin Cost Lewis, and it is about summer and snakes and kids and other things, which makes it basically perfect for today, which is why I chose it. She simply calls it summer. Last summer, 2 discreet young snakes left their skin on my small porch 2 mornings in a row. Being postmodern now, I pretended as if I did not see them, nor understand what I knew to be circling inside me. Instead, every hour I told my son to stop with his incessant back chat. I peeled a banana and cursed God, his arrogance, his gall, to still expect our devotion after creating love and mosquitoes. I showed my son the papery, dead skins so he could know too what it feels like when something shows up at your door twice, telling you what you already know. Go into your weekend with an open mind and an open heart, you guys. I don't know how many people besides me needed to hear that, but there it is. Thank you so much again, as always, for being here. See you Monday.